Welcome back to another motherfucking episode of What in the Podcast with your boy Jimmy and myself, CrossFireX, otherwise known. Actually, no, fuck that. You guys only know me as CrossFireX. Very few of you actually call me my real name, which, if you didn't know, is David. But that's besides the point. Jimmy, how have you been, dude? What's poppin', man?
I'm all right. I feel good. I feel better. I'm bald now.
Oh, it's crazy, dude. What
involuntarily bald. Yeah.
I was gonna say, what was the decision around that? Like, how'd you get there?
So the way that it happened was, right, okay, it was 4th of July. My grandpa called me. He's like, yo, there's a parade going on. I was like, all right, let's go. So, and then he was looking at my hair and the hat, and he was like, yo, we need to do something about that. And he used to be a barber. And he's like, what if I just, cut your hair in like right now? I was like,
nah. It was that easy? Like, that simple?
Yeah, it was that. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I'll let him cook, He'll cut my hair. I need to cut it anyways. All right. So he's fixing up the he's fixing up his clippers, right? And he's like, oh, I only have this. And it's a 1. And I was like, oh shit. It's like, do you got anything more? And he's like, nah, it shouldn't be that short though. This is a different thingy. I was like, all right, he knows better than me. He used to do this shit for a living. So I was like, I'll let him cook. Maybe he uses the combs.
Nah, you let him cook on a 1?
Yeah, no, because like I know that there's a technique where you use like a comb, you brush it, and then like you
you brush the comb and then you scrape over the comb.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I thought he was gonna do that.
I think the comb technique though is mostly. I mean, I'm completely waffling here. I have no experience, but I don't even think it's a taper. I think the comb technique is to get the hairs that are folded down. So when you think about like when you take your actual, let's just pretend this is my razor, right? And so you go like, technically you're matting hair down to go over it. And I think the comb is just to make sure it's a nice even cut on that because you're still keeping the guard, right?
Yeah.
But a 1 is pretty crazy because when I used to get my hair cut done professionally, I would go a 2 on the top and a 1 on the sides, and that was my fade. So to hear a 1 all around, that's how I know it's low. But So overall, how are you with the haircut though? You're satisfied with it? Do you like it? Is it not your flow?
Anyways,
do you regret it?
No, I don't regret it. But anyways, I was just like, fuck it, I'll let him cook. All right. He does 1 buzz on the side right here, and he goes, oh, that's short. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, ain't no way. He just said, oops. Like, so he hands me a mirror and I look at it. I'll take off my headset right now.
Yo, brace
and
yourself.
It's this, bro.
It doesn't look bad.
I'm bald, bro.
It doesn't look bad.
I'm bald, bro.
All right, so okay. So you want to know what's okay, and maybe I'm out of line here, but I think this is actually kind of a fucked up thing. Not to like bring race into this.
What do you mean?
As a white person, no one ever roasts you for having a bad lining. As a black person, if your lining is shit, that's all they're gonna talk about. Like you gotta come like for me, I can't get a haircut like that. I can't just have a haircut and no one cares. If I get a haircut and my lining isn't decent, I'm getting roasted. That's the only thing they're gonna mention is my lining. You know what I'm saying? And obviously my hair is growing out right now. But like, why is that? Like, I've never ever in my life ever seen a white person get roasted for not having a lining.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a widow's peak right here. So
well, yeah, I actually have a widow's peak too. Tabby actually, she actually winds my hair up really nice. So COVID era hit, and I stopped paying for haircuts. COVID is probably one of the best things ever because literally I stopped paying for haircuts.
Yeah. I literally would do it myself. So I was like, fuck it, I'll let him cook. But yeah. It's a 1 all the way around.
Fuck it. Like, so, like, the reality is...
It doesn't look that bad, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is like, even if you didn't like it, right? Like, a bad haircut is replaceable. Like, your hair grows back, you get a new haircut, no big deal, right? So, like, that's actually why I started letting Tabby cut my hair, because I was like, well, if it's bad, I don't care. It doesn't matter. My hair's going to grow back. What's the big deal? She actually got really good at it, though, and I've recently started to let her do she used to do the lining, because I have, like, this wall set, and she would do the lining with this little tiny clipper that was, like, this big, but only for the lining. Recently, we took off the training wheels, and now she does the lining with the actual clipper, and it looks really nice and actually really, really good. And I was like, dude, why was I ever paying for haircuts? I haven't gotten to the point where I let her attempt the fade. We just do a 2 all around, and then she does the lining. I haven't let her attempt the fade yet. I don't know if I want to.
You're scared?
I mean,
you said it yourself. If the hair grows back, That was my approach.
Yeah, the hair grows back.
I was like, I saw it, and I was like, you know what, just do it all.
But here's the thing, though. A bad fade isn't coverable. Like, a bad haircut, you wear a hat. A bad fade, that's noticeable. You're going to notice if the fade isn't good there.
Yeah.
And so like, it's like, I don't know, maybe one day. So, well, you know what's really funny about that? Well, there was one time where we did a subathon incentive on stream. And part of the subathon incentive was allowing her to cut my hair on stream. Well, there was one time where she took the guard off to wipe the hair off the guard. She forgot to put the guard back on.
She forgot to back on.
And I started getting immediately roasted. Like, everybody in chat was roasting me. And yeah, so I mean, it wasn't like a bald spot, but like, it was a noticeable fucking difference. It was like...
That's pretty funny.
But at the end of the day, the hair grows back. It doesn't matter, and it is what it is. You move a month later, you move on to another haircut. You know, so I mean, yeah, that's literally how it goes. But
yeah, but the funny part is, I actually don't hate it. Like, I'm kind of fucking, especially the size.
I like it, dude.
I'm kind of fucking with it.
I give it $150 with you. Like, I don't even know if I knew what your hair looked like before, because you always wore a hat anyways. I guarantee you, has there been anybody?
Hair was always fucked up.
Yeah, has there been anybody on your stream that has been like, you had hair?
Your head,
because I feel like most people, like people naturally think I'm bald because I wear a hat all the time. So they're like, I took my hat off one day, and they're like, someone was like, "Did you get a haircut recently?" And I was like, "No." The funny part is I did get a haircut, but I love telling people no and just seeing how they respond, and then I'll just leave it at that.
Why?
I'm an internet troll. I don't know why not. Like, I
why,
mean,
you don't want to give them the satisfaction of guessing that you got a haircut recently?
No, I just think it's because okay, so maybe this is trolling in a sense that they don't really understand it. It's a troll with an extra layer, and the extra layer is I very obviously got a haircut. People who watch every day, they know. They're like, yeah, he obviously got a haircut. But it's funny when someone asks and you respond no, because then they're like, then they start second guessing their own like thoughts about it. They're like,
so
he looks different. Then. No, it's not even gaslighting, dude. What the hell? You're gaslighting me, man. But no, yeah, I just think it's like trolling with an extra layer, right? And so when people are like, hey, did you get a haircut recently? I'm like, no, it's not at all. I'll leave it at that. I won't even say anything else. It's just trolling with an extra layer, or I don't even know if you can call it trolling, really, because it's not really trolling.
No,
joking.
Just saying no, just to say no at that point. To be honest, it's because you like it. You like saying no. He's like, no. It is a little bit of trolling, but it's not really a troll.
Yeah, it's trolling, but it's not trolling.
I guess it's just for you.
Yeah, because it's honestly, I'm a big fan of like layered jokes and seeing who understands the actual joke and then seeing who pretends to understand the joke. And that's a joke for me. That's where I get my like humor out of. Is so like if I say a joke and there's an underlying meaning and only 3 people in chat pick up on the underlying meaning, me and those 3 people have a deeper connection because they understood it. But then I'm also laughing at the people who think they understood it but don't actually get it quite. And so on the inside I'm like, you think you know?
The people in the know are like, okay, you know.
The people in the know,
they don't know.
It's funny. It's funnier to them. It's way more funny because they do know, and then they also at the same time can kind of laugh at the people who don't know. Is that toxic? No, I don't think that's toxic.
No, that's like inside jokes.
It is, yeah, 100%. It is inside jokes. It is 100%. Yeah, man, that's funny. That's so funny. I was gonna ask you before we got into the bald thing, but we got into it, so it's not a big deal. I was gonna ask you, what'd you get up to today?
I went for a run. I woke up actually pretty late. The rust is I stayed up a little bit late last night. It was the weekend. We only had the podcast today, so I woke up a little bit late. I ran at noon, and then I was just playing with Chloe, and then just getting ready for the podcast today. I really didn't do much.
No, yeah, I feel that. We were up late last night. I think I went to sleep at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, I think I went to sleep at 6 a.m. I woke up at 1 o'clock, and then at 1:30 I went on a 1-hour walk. Actually, it was like 2 o'clock. It was like 2 o'clock.
How did that go?
It was nice. It was a 3-mile walk. Well, we went down to the lakefront, and we parked on one side and basically walked all the way to the other side, and then like through downtown and then back to the car, and then we went and got some dinner / lunch. Technically first meal for me, but it was like dinner time essentially. And then, after that, came back home, took a shower, But yeah, and then I hopped on stream. So there's a lot of very chill day, but a nice day. Got out, got some sun. That's something I'm trying to do more. I'm trying to get more sun, like trying to get out of the house more, as much as I can.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to like make every effort. Like after I end stream every day, I just go outside for like an hour, play with Chloe, just spend some outside time. Especially since it's summer now and then the sun is out. I like feeling the sun on my skin. It just makes me feel good, and it's a nice like disconnect from
It's that
everything,
vitamin D, man.
which I really really fuck with.
Yeah, 100%. I think a lot of that is the vitamin D. I think as gamers, it could be, we kind of don't realize like our lack of sun is actually directly contributing to our mental health. And just going out, like we make the joke all the time about touching grass, but like quite literally going outside and just absorbing some of that vitamin D, it's going to make you feel more energized. In general, it's just, yeah, it's way better. It's way better.
Like just going outside, being like somewhat active. Like I'm not saying you have to be like a total athlete, but just moving around, going outside.
That's kind of like what I've been working towards too.
Is very healthy.
Yeah,
because if you're stagnant all the time, you know the analogy with the water. If it's stagnant, it gets all gross and whatever. But when it's flowing, it's nice and clear. And it's basically the same thing with our body.
Well, yeah, they have a saying. They say motion is lotion. And that's the saying.
Motion is lotion.
Motion is lotion. Yeah, for your joints, your body, your arms. Motion is lotion, and so that lotion is like moisturizing those joints. It's keeping them moving. Whereas like if you don't move as much and your joints aren't moving as much, they're getting kind of worked down, worn down, raggedy, crickety. You know, think of like I don't know if I have an
like
analogy
you need
for that,
to
but
like changing the oil in your car. If it's old oil, everything won't work as smoothly, but once you change it, everything, you know, there's a lot less friction and stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so that's something I've been trying to do a lot more. It's really hard though. It's hard to I don't want to say like it's hard to like make that effort to like go out. Like I enjoy going out, I enjoy the sun, but like with the schedule and everything, there's just so many moving parts to life, right?
Yeah, like if you already have like a fixed schedule, it's kind of hard to introduce something new, especially if you haven't been doing that for a while. So it's a lot of trial and error,
but it's important too.
It's very important. You have to like value it, like yourself as a person. Like, okay, I'm gonna take this time allotted for that.
Yeah, I think in general you have to kind of like value life more, right? Because you have to like realize that like, okay, what I'm doing is technically detrimental to life itself, and if I value life, then I should want to change that detriment and make it into something that isn't a detriment. Yeah, so in a sense you kind of have to like almost value life, but I think a lot of that can get distracted in the sense of like I'm so focused on work and so focused on not being successful but maintaining success, I guess is the best way to describe it. Because like for me, I very much consider myself successful, and so it's not so much trying to be successful that I'm doing, but trying to maintain success and keeping that success long term and continuing it over that long term. And so being very caught up in work is actually how like those detrimental things can happen, where like so you start to neglect other areas of like life.
Like you put more in time and energy, which you think is good, but like the thing is like you need balance. Like you can't have too much of one thing. Like obviously it's good, you want to, you know, object in motion stays in motion, you want to propel yourself in your craft, in your field or whatever, but yeah, too much of one thing is detrimental in the long run.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways of how that can apply. Actually, it's very, very interesting, man. Life is. I always tell people, right? I think we talked about this a while ago. Like people are always going to take like the path of the least restriction.
Because it's easier.
Or the path of least resistance because it's easier, and so it's easier to stay in your routine than it is to like adjust your routine. Even if it means doing something better for yourself, it's just easier to just ignore it, push it off, put it on the back burner. And unfortunately, especially in today's day, we'd rather like something terrible happen in order to make that change. But sometimes that one terrible thing might be the thing that allows you to not make that change, right?
What do you mean?
Okay, so like
allow you to make that change?
Yeah, okay, so like maybe this is dark, maybe this is like very, very fucking like drastic. But like think of it this way. Like let's say you're a hardcore gamer and you play games 12 hours a day, 14 hours, 15 hours a day. and you really enjoy that lifestyle, you really enjoy playing those games, but by doing that and not being active, you just push it off, and it's 12, 15, 20 years go by, you keep pushing it off, and then something happens health-wise that's detrimental, that is bad, and now all of a sudden now you want to make the change to do better, but it's too late. Because
I see what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that, like you said, balance is actually really, really important. But sometimes it's just a lot easier to ignore that and just push it off until something happens, right? Being reactive rather than proactive.
Yeah, like being scared of like, oh shit, I gotta get my shit right. But like like you said, if it gets to that point where it's like, well, you can't really fix it anymore, then that's like, that's fucked. That'll make you like resentful.
Then it's
like,
fucked.
Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that?
Especially if the whole time, through like the entire process of it, you knew that that's what you were supposed to be doing, but you weren't doing it anyways.
Like in the back of your mind, you were like, I need to do this, but you just for some reason just.
It's in the back of your mind. You just keep pushing it off.
Have to like. Yeah, like I'm not a perfect person. I've had to literally force myself to like go outside and run and stuff. Like there was days where I did not want to do that, but I was just like, let me just do it.
I mean, like for instance, like I keep telling myself, I'm like, yo, I got to get more active again. But then I'll say that for like an entire month, and my activity won't really change. And then I'll just keep saying like, yeah, I got to get more active again. And then when I am active, I'm like, yeah, I got to do this more. And then I don't actually make the change. I just I talk about the change. I'm never about the change, right? And so part of getting older, part of like becoming more wise, I guess you could say, I'm trying to be about that change in terms of like health, right? And so that's kind of like, I mean, I think that's just human growth, but yeah, that's I'm trying to be about the change, Trying to get into that.
I think you have to be like very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like you got to check yourself, you got to keep yourself in check. At least for me, like I always keep myself in check. Like I like to put like what I want to do in front of me, what I need to do, and then just lay it out. Just like, okay, I need to do this, this, and this. I know I don't want to, but overall, I need to.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like sometimes I'll just like after a run, I'll look in the mirror and I'll just be like, okay, you did good today, Just kind of like reassuring myself, but also keeping myself in check. Like sometimes I'll even bitch myself. It's like, you didn't even do a run today. You didn't even go outside. You're a bitch. like it's like this internal.
Like, man, you didn't even get up and go on that run. You little bitch.
So that's the way I like kind of helps me get into that routine. Now, granted, like eventually I won't need that, but I was like for starting out, that is helping me get the routine. Once I have the routine, like once you have a routine, it's very easy to keep it because you're so used to it. But like as of right now, that's what I'm using to.
Yeah, I think what did they say? Like 28 days.
Yeah, something like that. Like
28 days to form a habit.
A couple weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's that 28 days, right? It's that 28 days that's like the hardest part, like to build that habit to like.
It ain't easy. I'm not there yet. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, it takes time, right? Like, I mean, I think like being able to like see that, like having that end result, like having that end goal as your direction, and then knowing like it's okay to slip off of that goal as long as you get back on it, right?
Yeah, because life has its twists and turns. Obviously, like in the streaming world, like sometimes we're gonna be pulling 12-hour streams, maybe even like a subathon or something, like something that'll be like kind of unhealthy. But then we got to get right back on the horse, and then just continue to be overall health conscious.
I'm kind of shifting away from. So I used to do the monthly subathon where, maximum 24 hours, and a lot of the times the average subathon for me, I would say my average subathon was like 18 to 20 hours. Like, I'm shifting. I haven't tried it out yet, and I don't know how exactly I want to do it, but I'm kind of like shifting away from that meta, if you will, because I don't like, and so I don't. Well, let me finish my thought on that because my mind, dude, I'm already in the next thought that's gonna come after this thought. But so I'm trying to shift away from that style of podcast. I'm trying to shift to more of like marathon type podcasts where when I'm live, the timer is active, and then when I'm ready to be like, all right, I need to get up. I need to go get off. We've been here 15 hours. It's time for me to take a break. I'm trying to normalize, okay, 15 hours, pause the timer, let me get off, go do what I got to do, come back next day, refresh, ready to go, start stream, start timer kind of deal. I'm trying to normalize that because it's healthier that way. And so there are a lot of people, especially like in the Twitter space and like in the streamer space, there are a lot of people who will shit on you. They'll be like, that's not a subathon, you're just trying to milk your community. And it's like, no, I just think it's very unhealthy to sit here and do these 48-hour sessions. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, you're literally glorifying like an unhealthy lifestyle.
The younger generation can do that type of stuff because I've stayed up.
When even then you shouldn't, right? Like even then you
shouldn't. But like, there's less of a consequence when you're a lot younger because like your body can take it. Like as you get older, like you feel like fucking shit, and if you feel like shit, it's gonna make your other streams suffer, and then it's just a cartwheel effect.
Yeah, I agree.
But
and that's why I've been trying to normalize, like, so like moving forward, my like future subathons are going to be more so like based around being more marathon like, where we get rid of team remove. Like team remove has had its time in the stream, we probably get rid of that entirely, and then just like X amount of time, whatever the time is on the timer, we pause it, I get off stream, we start stream again, we put the timer back on. And so I think people kind of forget like what subathons are like, right? So a lot of people get so focused in the short term of like, no, that's not a subathon, you're just milking your community. It's like, well, I would be doing an 8-hour stream normally, and now instead they're getting 12 to 15-hour streams consistently every single day. That's more stream time. That's a positive, right? Like that's a positive. And then like the other thing about it is everybody's community is different, so I don't understand why people get so offended about other people's communities, because they'll be like, you're just milking your community. I'm not saying this happened to me. I've just seen community sentiment around it on Twitter, but they'll be like, you're just milking your community for money and subs. And it's like, why are you offended for their community? Their community is supporting it. Like, that's what they want. Like, if they're supporting it, what's the fucking problem?
Yeah, because it's not, you're not a part of that community. Then what's your problem?
It's just it never makes any sense. It's just like the outside looking in. It's like maybe it goes off to like one of those like moral high horse things again, where they feel like they're better because they would do it differently. And it's like, there are billions of people on this fucking planet. Like, we're not all gonna think the same, and it's weird for you to be upset about how somebody else is operating. Like, it doesn't make any sense. That's like Target getting mad at how Walmart wants to operate their fucking business. You know what I mean? And like, it doesn't make any sense.
Waffling.
It'd be like me getting mad about you changing your stream schedule from nighttime to daytime just because we used to stream all the time. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't make any sense. But speaking of, how is the morning schedule? You still, sticking it? How's it going?
I do like the morning schedule, just because like after stream, I still have sunlight out and I can go outside and exercise and stuff. Obviously, there's going to be a dip in viewership because the nighttime schedule is not there for the morning. Whatever they have work, or they're not awake. They're probably sleeping. But I mean, it's been pretty cool. I enjoy it.
I think there's a number of factors, right? Like there's several factors that kind of go into the dip in viewership, and so I don't think you should like I don't want to say like put emphasis on it or like stress it.
Oh no, I'm not. I already knew that was gonna happen. I'm not stressing it. It's just because I've been streaming Rust, I've been getting a lot of follows, so I'm just building that daytime community. The nighttime people still come in, they say, hey, I appreciate it, but they either lurk or they just say hey, which I do appreciate, but yeah, they can't watch my stream unless I do like a longer stream to where like I kind of stream to my old stream time, which was like 6 PST, which I have done because Rust I could play for like a really long time. I think this whole week my minimum stream time was like 7 hours.
Yeah, with all the Rust streams. Yeah, you've been doing long ones.
That's a long time, and a lot of time for content, and a lot of people for come in and come out. So yeah, like the dip in viewership really isn't affecting me really. It's just like
you know what I always notice. What I always notice is it's never the streamer. Well, okay, I don't want to say it's never the streamer that puts the emphasis on viewership, but it's always the viewer that puts the emphasis on viewership. Like. And we kind of talked about this before at one point too, where people will determine your success based off of your numbers, but they don't know they don't know financials, they don't know anything in the background. They only see the number, and that's how they determine your success.
And that's how they validate you.
And that's how they validate you. And it is the weirdest thing because it's always like you always get that one viewer that's like, so for instance, back in the day for a long fucking time, after I got partnered on Twitch, I told you like I got partnered in 2014. The average back then was 500 CCV. Like I was blowing the fuck up in the RuneScape community. I got partnered at a young age. I was 17 years old. after a while, one thing that ate at me, so I took a break, right? Like I got partnered in July of 2014, 9 years ago. And then probably like maybe 3 months later, I just disappeared off the internet. I was focused on school. I was 17, almost 18. Yeah. Like there were so many other things going on in life at that moment that were 10 times more important. And to me, I had felt like my grind was done. I was like, yo, Twitch partner, let's go. We made it. My grind's done. Like I could relax. Wasn't the case. That's besides the point. When I came back to streaming in 2016, for years, one line would always eat at me. And it would be like, people would come into the stream and they'd be like, how are you a Twitch partner with only X amount of viewers? It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like one, why? Like you don't even know me. And you just tuned into the stream, and that your first thing that you're gonna bring up is viewership, as if like. Oh, you know, at the time it was always funny.
It matters to them.
Yeah, like exactly.
Which it doesn't.
It has zero effect. They just wanted to like be like a shitter that day, right? And so like they would literally just tune in and just be like, well, what the fuck? And it would always be so funny because my response to them would always be, well, where's your Twitch partnership? You don't want to be a streamer, so then why the fuck do you care? Like it's like it makes zero sense, you know what I mean? And so yeah, for a while I would deal with that a lot. Yeah, a lot. Like you'd be surprised at how many times over the years someone would ask me that question, and then it'd be like, even I haven't had it recently at all, right? But we've had a lot of success over the last year to year and a half. But in the streaming game, there's always the roller coaster highs and lows. And so like right now, I think you could like accurately depict my stream is currently in a low point. But it's in a low point. Okay, I don't want to say like it's in a low point by choice. It's in a low point because I'm not choosing to do the content that is going to bring me extra viewers because I'm not having fun with that content. Like if I keep doing PVM content in the RuneScape community and I keep, AOD and Solak and I keep doing PVM content, without a doubt, my viewership would have stayed consistent 60 plus. But we're not
on the back end.
We're not, and I'm not having fun, and so it doesn't make sense to me. And so I always seek to push out content that is fun, that is enjoyable, that I am having a good time with. And so I never really fucking worry about the numbers. And so like. For instance, right now, someone could come into my stream and they could see like, lately in the RuneScape community, we're pulling anywhere between 30 to 50 viewers average. And so someone could come in, someone who may have watched me during the FSW days where we're pulling 80 to 100 viewers. Yeah. And then they come in now and they go, wow, you fell off. And it's like, no, I didn't fall off. You just don't understand how this shit works. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like every artist that released an album, they're not all fucking platinum selling albums, but you're not going, you fell off to them. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. That's actually a great analogy. Yeah.
They do this constantly in the streaming world, and it is the weird, and it's like some of it's trolling, but then some of it is like genuine people like actually believe you fell off, and it's like, you don't even understand how this works, bro. So this is my level and you're here. You aren't even at this level of thinking yet. You know what I mean? Like you don't even know what I'm cooking up here. Yeah. And so I always find it funny. Like there's always that perspective. Like viewers always put like this weird sentiment to it. And it's like we talked about this too, where I have 9 years of experience and 9 years of credentials, I guess you could say, that would prove to somebody who said, like, if somebody was to be like, you're not successful, I have 9 years of like factual proof of my success over those years, but it doesn't matter to them because they only see that number anyways. So yeah, it's always funny. So I mean, yeah, as long as you're enjoying the whole morning shift shit, don't even worry about that shit. Just have fun with it, enjoy it, do your thing, and everything else. I always tell everybody, like, if you enjoy it, you're having a good time, everything else is gonna come.
Yeah, it's gonna fall into place.
It's gonna fall into place.
You just have to have like a good mindset. Like I was always scared to leave the RuneScape category, but I just generally just like right now I just don't enjoy it. Like I know my viewership would stay the same, like what you said.
But it's like, what does that matter if you're not having fun? Then you just dread streaming every day.
Yeah, then I don't even want to hit the go live button.
Yeah,
or I'm just gonna get pissed off, and that's bad for everybody. Because one, they get me pissed off right off the bat, and then if anybody comes into the chat, this is a big explosion. Nobody wants to watch that. So I just I just play what I want to play, have a good time, show everyone respect, and I figured everything else will fall into play.
Yeah, I had the same thing. for a while. Like I would constantly be like, and not even with the RuneScape community, like with other games, right? Like for a while, like I was tired of playing Tarkov, and I didn't want to play Tarkov anymore, but I didn't want my viewership to drop, right? Because, you know, you look at viewership equals subs to some extent, you know, viewership equals followers to some extent. And so you never want that number to drop. But at the end of the day, if that number drops short term for long-term gain, but the thing is no one will ever see that long-term gain. So like, even like I could say right now, me only streaming 3 to 4 hours a day on Twitch because I want to put that time in on Kick, I'm taking a short-term loss for what I hope will be a long-term gain. And so we're taking that risk, and like a calculated risk, to be able to get that long-term gain, right? But from the viewer perspective, they're never going to see that. They're never going to look at it that way. They're just going to go, wow, you're not streaming it on Twitch as much. You're not streaming very much. You're not getting as many viewers. I mean, even my follower count's been consistently up. Like it's been consistently rising. And so, yeah, it's always funny. It's always funny to see like community sentiment and that type of stuff. Yeah, it's
so I think I'm chilling.
No, I think you're chilling too. I mean, take it from somebody who's been in your shoes, like who's been in that situation, right? You're always gonna have those people that try to tell you what to do, like they know. Like my favorite part is when a viewer tells a streamer how to stream.
What's it? Yeah, like that's not even with streaming. A lot of people like to tell other people that they're what to do or how something works when they don't have a basic understanding of what the thing they're talking about,
or they don't even do it. Like they've never done it themselves,
or they never done it themselves. Like that happens just because we were talking about health and exercising. Like, people be like, oh, you need to do this because you need this, but they don't even know. Like, oh, you need just like it's just with anything, honestly. Just like I don't know what it is, why people feel the need to say shit that they don't know what they're fucking talking about.
I think part of it is upbringing. Another part of it is like perspective, right? Yeah, I don't know, man. It's so confusing. I think if you try to figure it out, if you try to have the answers to like a question like that, you'll just go in circles in your brain all day long.
I just think it's ignorance, to be honest.
I think ignorance is a large part of it. 100%. I mean, why wouldn't it be? Yeah, it's so weird. So for me, it's weird because I'm always in the boat of life is hard enough. I don't need to make it harder for other people. And so I try my best to be myself while not making it harder for other people to just live their life, a normal life, right? Like, cause I mean, like everybody's going through some shit, right? And maybe that's a factor too. Like maybe the people that are lashing out in chat, looking for attention, are just maybe they're going through some shit and we just don't know.
That is a thing. Like hurt people. Yeah. Hurt
people. What song is that? I know those lyrics, man.
That's Russ.
I know those lyrics, man.
I don't know the song, but it's sung by Russ. But yeah, because
it is Russ. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Tabby listens to a lot of Russ. No, I didn't look it up. She listens to a lot of Russ though, and so when you mentioned that, that's how I knew. Like that's like probably her favorite artist of all time. Well, I don't know about all time, but that's her favorite artist. So. We do have an ad break coming up in 2 minutes. I've snoozed twice already this hour.
Yeah, so, I figured I didn't want to ask, so I was just like, you know what, he hit the snooze.
yeah, I'm snoozing it, dude. Snooze. Hey, we got an ad break coming up in 2 minutes, so we can chat it up with chat for a little bit while we get to this ad break. After the ad break, we return to the next topic of the podcast. You guys know how it usually flows. For those of you guys that have been watching our podcast, for those of you guys that are new here, welcome in. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. We talk about anything and everything, and some of the guys you'll see refer to it as waffling. It quite literally is waffling. That's the whole reason of podcasts. Actually, me and Jimmy once saw a meme. It was like men create podcasts to avoid going to therapy or something like that.
Therapy. Yeah. I saw that on Twitter. It's like instead of going to therapy, they make a podcast. I was like,
I don't even know if I wouldn't even say like our podcast is like our replacement for therapy though, because we don't really get into like we had our first conversation, right? Like we got into conversation pretty deep, but most of the time I feel like we're not really having therapeutic conversation.
No, but we do like more than just scratch the surface on some topics. Like we do go a little bit deeper, which I think is a lot healthy because sometimes people don't go deeper than the surface.
I always try to provide perspective that I think other people wouldn't get without that providing, if that makes sense. Like I always try to give, so I'm a very objective person, so I always try to look at every angle of any type of conversation to be able to like open the door to people who maybe had the door closed. Guys, welcome back to the podcast. By the way, this is What in the Podcast with your boys Jimmy and CrossFireX. Coming at you with episode 5 of What in the Podcast, where we talk about anything and everything under the sun, where we waffle and sometimes maybe get a little bit therapeutical because that's just the nature of podcasts, they say. That is the nature. I appreciate you guys sitting through that ad break, but welcome back. We were just kind of in the intro chatting up about everyday life and streaming stuff, essentially. Not really streaming stuff, but like the viewer perspective from a streamer's perspective. And maybe this is something we could do. We could probably have a really fun. Sorry, excuse me. We could probably have a really fun podcast episode where we bring in viewers into the guest star, just like we have you on guest star. We bring in the viewers and we have them ask us questions, or maybe we even ask them questions. I think we can do a lot of fun with it. Obviously we're still breaking, we can do that. We're still breaking into this whole thing, you know, and I think we're gonna have a special guest star very soon, maybe even 2 special guest stars soon in the upcoming podcast. We'll keep you guys updated on that. I know I've been in the works, dude. I know I haven't been able to really talk to you and Toby about it, but I've been in the works. I'm cooking some stuff up. I got some fun stuff going. Yeah, let me cook, man. Let me cook. Because you know, I might even have the CEO of SYLC on this podcast in a couple of weeks to talk about SYLC. If you guys have heard us, if you guys have heard us chat about that a little bit, you know, maybe we got something in the works behind the scenes. I'm a busy man, dude. I'm out here changing the game, you know. So yeah, we'll see. We'll get into. We'll have a meeting about that. You and Toby will have a meeting about that, and we'll see what's up with that. But yeah, man, life is crazy. We're just, you know, out here, 2 wafflers. We got the waffler and the king waffler. I'm King Waffler, by the way, otherwise known as King Tra the Waffler.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you don't. What's up? Well, you don't. Why that face? Why that face? Someone's on your mind right there. Let me hear it.
Nothing's on my mind.
Let me hear it. Hey, come on, man. What's on your mind? Break into it, man.
King Waffler.
I shit in my shower and then I stomp it down the drain. King Waffler, dude. Oh man. Oh my god. Those sound alerts are funny, man. They're funny, man. What? You reading chat? You fucking.
I'm not reading chat. I'm not reading chat.
What are you laughing at, man?
Nah, because you're like, you know what you're doing, you motherfucker.
What? Tell me what I'm doing, man. Let me hear it, dude. That's all we had to. What am I? I'm listening. What am I doing?
No. You know.
No, I don't know if I know, man.
Next topic.
Why you avoiding, dude?
Next. Because it's not a podcast angle. That's why.
No. I'm not doing that. I'm not. Okay, if that's what you think I'm doing, I'm not doing that. I would never do that on the podcast. I agree that it's not a podcast angle. I would agree with that 110%. But yeah, man, we were just talking about how life is hard. The world is crazy. Speaking of the world being crazy, have you seen the short video of that lady getting thrown off the plane?
The one where she said somebody's like right there. She points, everyone looks, and there's no one there.
And she's claiming that the person at the back of the plane is not real.
Yeah, like I only saw that clip. I didn't really go into it. But
let's pull the clip up.
Yeah, let's watch the clip.
Let's watch the clip, JB. Get the clip.
Jamie.
But I am telling you right now.
Wait, pause it. Let me do the thing. Let me do the magic with it. Make this. Oh my God, relax.
Enhance.
That back there is not real. Say whatever you want. I'm telling you, I'm getting the off, and there's a reason why I'm getting the off, and everyone can either believe it or they cannot believe it. I don't give 2 but I am telling you right now, that not.
They all look.
I'm not going to. And there's a
So do you think they all died? Well, obviously they didn't all die, right? Because she says you can sit on this plane and you can all die with him, but I'm not. I'm getting off the plane. And so, I mean, obviously they didn't die on this plane. So
At first,
what is this about?
I thought it was something racial, saying somebody's gonna like do something to the plane, that somebody was, you know, or no stranger to it. But there's no person. She's like, that motherfucker's not real. Like, I don't understand like what made her like go into that.
Yeah, how
Like,
do
what made her
you?
feel
Yeah,
like,
that's. So yeah, the whole clip is alarming, right? Because obviously she is shook it up. Obviously something fucking happened. She saw something she didn't believe she saw. Maybe, I mean,
maybe she's schizophrenic and she just found out on the plane. That's the thing. Like you can like not know you're schizophrenic, and then all of a sudden you just fucking see some shit and you don't know what's happening. I've heard stories about that.
yeah, I mean,
I don't want to say that's what she is, but I'm just saying like
I saw people they took this, so like she was doing the whole thing with the twos, like with the two fingers like this, and then there was one point where she went to go put her hand down, and so the two is down, and then but she still had the other one up, and there was a picture I saw on Twitter that was supposed to be like Satan. Yeah, like Satanism.
Is it the Babylon thingy, the goat or whatever, where he has the
Yeah, and
that
so
picture, yeah.
so people immediately they took a dude. It was like a fucking. She wasn't even like sitting there like this. It was like she put her hand down, but she still had the two. And so people took that, they screenshotted it, and they started saying something about, you know, they started equating it to like Satanism and like Satan and
Satanic.
I didn't, yeah, like Satan. I didn't look, you know, I didn't look deeper into it because I was like, that bitch is crazy. And I went about the rest of my day. You know what I mean?
That's literally. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Scroll.
Yeah, I was like, yo, that bitch is crazy. I'm gonna keep going about my day. But it was like, like, what provokes that level of fear? Like, you almost wonder, like, where is she now? Like, we need a follow up. We need a follow up. Like, what did she see that day? Has she walked it back? Is she tripping? Did she microdose before the plane? Was she high? I mean, dude, a lot of people have anxiety around flying, and so people do microdose before flying. People get high before flying. They microdose before flying. They take anxiety meds. Like, people get dosed up because there is a lot of anxiety around flying.
It's crazy because the safest form of travel is actually flying with all the safety precautions. You're more likely to die in a car crash than in an airplane crash.
Yeah, I agree with that. But anxiety is a hell of a bitch for people, and I would argue that while you might actually be safer flying, you might feel safer driving, and that might be enough to make the difference.
Well, it's because I think it's a lack of control, because in your car you can control where you go, you know.
And the plane, it's whatever the fuck the pilot's doing. You're putting your life in the hand.
Goddamn echo chamber.
Dude, it goes back to the maintenance staff of the roller coasters, right? Like, your fucking life is technically on the maintenance staff and how good the maintenance staff is. And so, like, you think about, you know, you hear about plane crashes, or you saw, what was that movie, Flight? Is that what it was called? It was like Flight, where the pilot got drunk. Yeah, where the pilot got drunk, and so you don't really know what somebody's going through, and so it's like,
that was actually based on a true story.
Yeah,
but the true story, they all died, which is kind of sad.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm saying it's like, so I like. Maybe control is part of it, right? Like, maybe being able to have control of the vehicle is like what makes people feel extra safe, and that's how they go about, like, driving is better. But I don't know, dude. I don't be knowing, dude. I don't know. I mean, that lady had like a very real reaction. I don't think anybody can deny that.
Oh yeah, she definitely felt something. Like,
what the fuck?
Like,
she
you
was.
You can see the fear.
Yeah, there was like legitimate fear.
Like it's genuine. She's like, she's not faking it. Like, and her voice was like high pitched. She's crying. Like, she didn't fake that shit. But maybe it just wasn't real. Maybe she was schizophrenic. Maybe, I don't know. I saw on the thread that I don't know if you've seen the movie. It's is it They Walk Among Us, or They Live, or something? Where in the movie he has the special glasses that when you wear it, you can see people are like lizard people. But when you take them off, they look normal.
Yeah, I do think there's a level.
I saw that in the thread, and I was like, oh, okay, someone can make that correlation. She saw something we can't all see, and
okay, so and you know what's actually really funny about that is depending on like how spiritual you get, there are like I've seen people talk about like I've heard the term White Walkers, I've heard the term like Skinwalkers. There is, so like we have to think of it this way: there are a lot of secrets that, like, okay, here in the United States, right, you have the U.S. government. There are a lot of secrets, right? For years, people have known that aliens have been real, but it's never been confirmed. The government only decided to then release declassified information to confirm the existence of aliens only recently. Yeah. And so when you think of that, okay, you think of that concept, what we know about aliens, what we know about UFOs, and then what they have publicly declassified and released, how do we not know there are other entities, other beings that there's just no information on? Only very few people know. Like, I mean, when you think about, you ever watch Harry Potter?
Yeah.
You ever see, what was it, like Fantastic Beasts? Where like even Narnia, where like there are these worlds within worlds that no one knows about. And so like when you get to like thinking about, well, so, okay, so like, so you never seen Narnia?
No.
So obviously it's a fantasy movie. But basically these kids live in a world and they walk into a wardrobe, and when they walk into that wardrobe, it turns into an entirely different world. Like literally they walk into a world that has centaurs and fucking half goat, half humans and an ice queen, and you know what I mean? And so it's like a whole fantasy world. And so like they claim that, I think there was actually a document like that the CIA released that like multi-dimension, like the multi-dimension theory is actually like real. Like they're actual like this exact world, but like a different dimension, but it's different. Like you could say
parallel universes.
Yeah, parallel universes, exactly, right? Or like even the multiverse theory from Family Guy. And so we don't actually know because we can't see, and seeing is believing. And so it's like, what if she really did see something? Everybody's from our perspective, she's always going to look fucking crazy, and we're always going to discredit her.
Yeah.
But what if she really did see something? What if there was something on that plane? What if Slender Man was sitting at the fucking back, bruh?
Slender Man.
I mean, that motherfucker is not real. You know what I mean? Like, what if Slender Man was sitting at the back?
Like this in the fucking back because he's so tall. That motherfucker right there is not real. The dude's just.
I'm just like, I mean, like to grasp your mind around that, like she had a very real reaction, and people are always gonna take like logic, right? Like they're always gonna take logic. Like the natural thing to assume, the most logical assumption would be she's crazy, she having a mental breakdown, she was dosed up, schizophrenic, dosed up, maybe took mushies, maybe had a trip, right? But like, what if there was something back there?
Yeah.
Like she was visibly shaken up. Like she was so visibly shaken up, she moved the fuck away. She was like, nah, get me the fuck off this plane. And she started walking away while she's crying. And so, yeah, I just, dude, it's so fucking crazy. Like, I mean,
yeah. I mean, you can argue that she maybe saw something, but I mean, I've seen little crackheads do the same thing,
Well, like I said, the most logical thing, right? Like, I mean, okay, so do you believe in aliens?
In aliens?
Yeah.
I believe there's something else out there. The universe is too fucking big to not, like, for something else to be out there.
And then,
so the thing is, like, aliens, like, if you reverse the roles, we're aliens to
them.
Something else that's living,
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like I said, the universe is so big that I think it's statistically impossible to not have another living being.
I would agree.
Somewhere else in the universe.
No, yeah, I would agree entirely.
I think there's, I think it's so vast that we just haven't seen them yet.
Well, I mean, think about it. We don't even know, like, we know, like, what, 10% of the ocean?
Yeah.
Like there's entire life deep
yeah.
down in the depths we've never seen before. How the fuck do I know the
Yeah.
Loch Ness Monster ain't real? How do you know? We've never been down there.
Well, they haven't
What
found
if it,
them. And then
what
and
if it
then
lurks in the depths and stays down there forever? Like, I mean, think about it. Something that was born where there is no light is going to adapt to live in the dark. So why would it ever come up to the light? Like I actually watched a documentary like on deep sea life. Like life so far down, they don't even necessarily have eyes because it's in the dark.
A lot of them have like bioluminescent stuff. Their bodies just light up themselves, or they don't even have eyes because like they can't see shit anyways.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's like, why would it ever have a reason to come up to the surface and show itself, right? Like, and there's so much down there. I mean, what if we know more of the ocean than we let on, right? Like, so a great way to put this in some form of analogy, we know what they tell us in terms of the United States military defense budget. But we also know that they spend more money than that budget on shit we don't need to know about or shit they don't want us to know about.
Oh yeah, they have technology that's like been in like they knew about at least like 10 years before the general population gets
Well,
there.
I would say way more than 10 years. Way more than 10 years.
Really?
Here,
Like 20,
I would say 20 to 50 years is, I know it's a big range, maybe 30 to 50 years. Yeah, I would argue there has been deep secrets. They know way more than they're letting on that they know. Way more. I mean, think about like some of the like earliest discoveries, right? Like
what? Like what discovery?
Like, I'm trying to equate this. Well, for instance, I bet you there's a cure for cancer.
Oh, if you want to go to the medical thing, I think there's a lot of like stuff that they safeguard.
Yeah.
In order because
Because it doesn't profit.
Yeah.
Or like curing something is not as profitable as
treating it.
Treating it.
Literally.
And so if you
agree.
If you apply that assumption to like any other sector in the government, why wouldn't they have discoveries and things that they've already figured out that they're just not like, because to some extent the government is going to be like, the general population isn't ready to know about this.
Yeah.
Right? Like if Bigfoot was real, they're going to be like, let's say there's an entire society of Bigfoot out there. You know what I mean? They're just doing their own thing. I mean, because even isn't there like a large portion of the rainforest that's never been discovered?
I'm pretty sure we discovered most of it. Maybe there's like a very small section that we don't know just because the jungle is so fucking dense. It's crazy. I don't know. Maybe
So a quick Google search.
Indigenous people of those, like, they only know about it.
Yeah, a quick Google search says that almost all of the rainforest has been explored by air and satellite.
Mm-hmm.
But like, maybe that's not like a good. Maybe that's not like a good, but like on feet though would be different, right? And so air and satellite, what if you miss things? And so like it's tough, dude, because I just think there's so much unknown. Like think about everything that we know, and then like multiply that by 10, and that's probably how much is unknown. Like realistically, realistically, right?
That we don't know, but that's crazy to think.
Well, but the thing is, especially with governments, we only know what they want us to know. Like think about it. Like declassified information. We only know what they want us to know. And so one thing that kind of made me realize that like, okay, obviously I already knew aliens were real. I already had a feeling about that. I don't know if I don't think they've looked the way that we perceive them to look. And obviously UFOs exist. And you know how like a UFO, like it can land and then it can go back up into the air and that's like that.
Yeah.
I think
there's many different videos.
Have you seen the United States military's F-35?
F-35?
Yeah. It is a military jet.
Yeah, is it like he sees it, like go up, like fly across him?
Well, no. So the F-35 is a jet. It's a newer technology that it's a jet, but it's basically a UFO. It doesn't need a runway to take off. It can literally just lift off the ground, and it can land the same fucking way. how do we know?
Oh, like a VTOL.
How do we know they haven't been studying the UFOs they've captured for years to then figure out how to make that F-35 take off vertically and land vertically? I mean, like you could argue that the most logical assumption is that just technological advances got us there. But how do we know those technological advances weren't aided by the capture of UFOs from, you know, when you think about what they said, Roswell in Texas of like 19 something, right? Like the first ever like UFO sightings. Like, how do we know shit like that hasn't been getting studied? And so that's why it's so weird. Just that there's so much unknown, dude, and you'll drive yourself crazy trying to know answers that you'll never get.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with the VTOL, I mean, that's the basic principle of a helicopter. It's thrust. They basically just point the thrusters down, and you can't like be crazy up in the air with that with a jet. But you can get off the ground, you can take off, and you can go. That's been a thing forever.
Well, the F-35 is newer though, and it's vertical landing, vertical takeoff. That's new.
Yeah, that's a thing. Yeah. The
Yeah.
The VTOL, VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing. That's been a thing for a while.
Yeah, no, I understand that it's been a thing for a while, but it's like a technological advancement. But like that's what I was saying. Like, how do we? I guess it's. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's an interesting concept. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they only tell us what they want us to know. I think that is very, very true, right?
Yeah, I mean, we see it in a bunch of like TV shows. Like you see, let's say something happens, and we're following the characters of like they're in like the pseudo government or whatever. He's like, oh, we don't want to start a panic.
They say that new world order.
We don't want to tell anybody. We don't start a panic, so we'll just keep this to ourselves. Let everybody just, you know, chill. Like we see that in many different shows. So like, let's just say they're not doing that to us. You know, in the real world, they are. They're obviously safeguarding some stuff.
Yeah.
For either our reaction or just, or the medical field just want to profit off of us. But yeah, there's a bunch of shit we don't know.
Yeah. There's an ad break coming up in 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
There's a bunch of shit we don't know. Just real quick, like from chat, like he's basically, yeah, that's a better way of saying anti. He says, Cross is saying, what if our modern tech that has been superior for decades was influenced by the reverse engineering of UFOs? Not even the reverse engineering of UFOs, but the reverse engineering of alien technology, right? Like, think about it. If we've captured UFOs, we've captured alien tech. Like, you think the UFO is the only thing we've got? Nah, there's no way. There's got to be some type of alien technology we've discovered outside of the UFO itself, right? And so it's like... Yeah, it's just, there's always a logical explanation to things. But what about the other side? Like, what if logic wasn't the case, right? Like, I think it's natural. I think it's natural for everybody to always find the logical and most likely explanation because that's what makes sense to us.
Yeah.
We want things to make sense because it's easier for us to process. We don't want to think about the opposite side of it of like, well, what about the illogical explanation? What if it is a reality and it's just not enough for us to grasp, right? I mean, even the brain, like the human dimension, even like the human brain, they say is we don't even use that much of the human brain. So there's a large part of unknown. There's so much unknown. We don't even know what we can fully grasp. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It is definitely
interstellar fourth dimension.
It's definitely crazy. Life is crazy. I mean, it's like I actually saw I saw a Mythical Kitchen. If you guys know Good Mythical Morning with Rat and Link, they have a Mythical Kitchen channel where they do cooking. And
wait, really? They have a channel like that?
Yeah, they have a. I love Rat and Link. I still watch them often. And I'm gonna go through this quick because the ads come up in 30 seconds. Gabriel Iglesias had actually said he was on Mythical Kitchen and they were doing an episode of their, you know, his last meal. Like, if it was his last meal, what would it be? And they were cooking and eating it. And Gabriel Iglesias had actually said he just keeps thinking about the fact that, like, what if he wakes up and it was all a dream? And that's his fear. His fear is waking up and that it was all a dream. And so this goes on to the talk about, like, simulations. And, like, we don't know, realistically speaking, if we were or weren't. We would never know.
No, because
this is the world we've been presented.
Yeah.
Life is crazy. Chat, we're going on an ad break right now. This is What in the Podcast with your boy Jimmy and CrossFireX. Thank you guys for being here. While we are on the ad break, we will stick a pin in it. We'll wait. We'll get back to that conversation. I think it's a good conversation. Guys, welcome back to What in the Podcast. Ooh. This is episode 5 with your boys Jimmy and myself, CrossFireX. We are just coming back from the ad break. You guys didn't miss anything in the ads. Don't worry. We don't go on topic during the ad break. We just kind of read a little bit of a conversation. We react to chat a little bit, and we get to talk to you guys a little bit more and kind of answer some of those questions and some of the things that we see throughout our segments of chatting. So if you're just now tuning in, welcome in. Hope you enjoy your time in our podcast. Hope you enjoy the listen where we get into anything and everything, and we talk about all types of crazy stuff. So we were talking about where were we right before the break?
I don't know. I was waffling when you said during the ad break that one of your side of your headset was off and they're watching us. all thinking process went out the window because I jumped on my bed. That was pretty funny. Honestly, don't know where we were, and we not on the flow map, so it's kind of hard to like backtrack. At least for me.
Well, it's kind of just like I kind of going into conspiracies a little bit, I guess you could say, future tech stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, so there was a comment that unfortunately got a little bit. This government hides almost everything, so they can do what they want with whatever they want. I agree with that. I don't think they hide it so that they can do what they want with whatever they want. I think they do that anyways. He said, I mean, America is the largest gang on the planet. They've killed and stolen billions on billions of money for hundreds of years, and no one can do anything about them. Somehow they in trillions of debt too. Well, and that was what I was saying. Like, I don't really think government debt is the same as like debt that we know. Like, you having credit card debt is not the same as government debt. My opinion. Because I mean, the reality is we fucking print money, right?
Yeah, it's all fiat money. It's make believe. The dollar only holds value because the government says it holds value. Before it used to be backed by. No, that's actually factual. Our money used to be backed by gold and silver, but they're not anymore. It's all fiat money. I forget what fiat stands for, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, part of it is like, I don't know. I don't know if I'd say that it only has value because people give it value. You have to remember, for a long time, and while this is changing, for a long time, every country uses the dollar was, I don't know if it still is, but the dollar was the primary currency for trading between countries, and that's where a lot of its value comes from. There are countries that are moving away from trading in the dollar, and that's where we have the potential of seeing a value loss. I don't get into the whole government thing too much. I try to stick away from all the bullshit because I think at the end of the day it's all bullshit anyways. But I think, I think a large part of like the value of the dollar stems from the fact that the majority of countries trade in the dollar. And I think that's where value comes from, because supply and demand. And so if every country was to stop using the dollar, then you would see the dollar crash, right?
Well,
but it is also a made up currency, because I mean, back in the day we traded
I don't know how foreign exchange
goods for
works,
goods.
Really, I don't have an understanding of that, but.
Yeah, we traded goods for goods, right? And so back, like the dollar, 100%, it's made up currency. All currency is.
Yeah, it's made up currency now.
Yeah, all currency is, right?
We just print it, literally.
Yeah,
and then distribute it.
Yeah, that's always interesting. Not to go off into a tangent about the government, because fuck the government. Am I right, boys? Am I right, boys?
I love the government.
Wow, what a fucking shill. No.
I love the government. I love the IRS.
Fuck you, IRS. Eat ass, Uncle Sam.
And while we're at it, I love homeowners associations. I love it all.
Actually, I agree with that. I love homeowners associations too. I love the fucking clowning that they do, and I get a lot of laughs out of it on Twitter, dude. I fucking love that. Absolutely.
You know what? Your
love
grass is
homeowners
1 inch above the threshold. We're gonna have to charge you $500.
Yeah, sir. You didn't roll your garbage can to the back of your house. It was precisely on the side back of your house, and we didn't like that. So we're gonna have to charge you $1,000.
Yeah, I like the idea of HOAs. I just don't like how they go about it, you know? Because obviously you want to like clean up your community, make it.
I don't think all HOAs are like that. I mean, people automatically like associate.
People have horror stories about HOAs, you know. There's more horror stories than great. But yeah, not to go on a tangent about HOAs and housing.
Yeah, HOAs are, we don't have to go on a tangent on that. HOAs or something, man. You know, speaking of government shit, other countries operate differently. Did you hear about Ike's Poseidon? Potentially facing 5 years and a Thai jail? What the fuck? I don't even know what happened. What did he even do?
So in the video clip, well, we can't watch it, but in the video clip, he was dressed up in lingerie. He was giving a lap dance, I think, to his girlfriend or somebody close to him.
I did see that.
Yeah. So he was giving a lap dance, right? Being very provocative. I mean, but it was in a closed space. I don't know if it was like a hotel or something, but it was obviously a private thing. And then the manager busts in and says, "You can't do this." In like broken English, "This is Thailand. This is disrespectful. Yada yada yada. This is very serious." And they're like, "Oh, we're sorry." And then the clip cuts there.
Do we know who first broke the story?
I don't know who first broke the story. I mean, that's pretty much where I see most of the Twitch news and like the streaming world news.
Yeah.
But we can't watch the first video, but we can watch the follow-up video. I don't know if Toby has it, of him apologizing. I think he's in handcuffs and he's with some other random guy. I don't know who he is, but he's like, "I apologize. I do."
Yeah. And so I get I get that it's very strict there, right? Like I totally understand. It actually kind of is scary to like be a live streamer, and like obviously content is like going to those countries is content, but yeah, those countries have laws you got to follow, especially when in terms of broadcasting. They've got laws. It's not like the U.S. And so I think it's ignorant for content creators to go to other countries and not really realize that you could be breaking laws. And I think that's kind of scary. Yeah. I think naturally, just because we think like, a lot of us come from, the United States, or, we originate here. And so I think we just naturally assume that like, oh yeah, this is okay there. So like, yeah, let me go to another country. But like shit like that will get you killed in other countries. Just depending on how strict it is, right? Like, so like if you go to Dubai, like I've been told that you can't even like hold hands in public because public displays of affection are highly illegal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like PDA is a big no. Like it's a big fucking no. So, yeah, it's 5 years in Thai prison. So I guess I wonder. I'd have to look into it more. I don't know enough about the topic at hand, but it's like, is it really that he faced 5 years? Like, was there really the potential, or was it something that was blown out of proportion? Like, yeah, he got arrested. Yeah, he spent a night. Yeah. Was it like obviously they know he's American. Like obviously they realize there's a language barrier. Maybe it was just an entire misunderstanding, and he never was he really in danger of 5 years in jail, or was it like one of those things like he could? Because think about like when you break laws, like if you break laws in the United States, there's always a maximum sentence, and there's always like technically you could always make the claim like so and so faces X amount of time in jail. Like, but was the reality really that? Was he really at like potentially facing 5 years, or is it something he himself as a content creator also thought, hey, I could blow this out of proportion, more likes, more views, more clicks? I do think it's a very serious thing, no doubt, right? But how, especially knowing Ice Poseidon, how genuine was the possibility? Because it's Ice Poseidon. We're talking a guy who
it's Ice Poseidon.
Purposely leaked information to get swatted on Twitch for views. We're talking about a guy who gets banned off Twitch, goes to YouTube. We're talking about a guy who has done a cryptocurrency scam to his entire community. Like we're not talking about a good person. We're talking about a shitty we're talking about a shitty person here. Like we're talking about somebody who literally only thinks about views. Like we're talking about like the equivalent of like TikTok or Mizzy, right? Like people who literally just do shitty things because they know it's easy views. So it's like, is it blown out of proportion? Most likely.
Probably.
Most likely. There's an apology video. Should we pull up the apology video? Should we see what the apology is about? Let's pull up the apology video.
It's kind of funny, too.
Wait, is this the restaurant owner? Who's he with?
I don't know. I don't know who that guy is.
I'm being held in Thailand for the actions that I've done a few nights ago at a hotel.
The hat seems official.
And both of their hands are behind their back, so they're obviously in handcuffs.
In Bangkok, Thailand. I wanted to make this video to apologize to Mrs. No Parat Oompa and the Buy and Tree Hotel in Bangkok for the actions that I've done. I did not know the severity of the actions that I've caused, and I was just trying to have fun, and I'm sorry. We were drunk, we were in a room, I just didn't understand.
Wait, they were in a room, like a private room?
Yeah.
How did the hotel manager see that?
Maybe there was cameras or something, but the hotel manager like just was it a hotel? I don't even know. But they just barged in.
Do they put cameras inside the rooms? I thought they put cameras in the hallway.
I don't know.
I've never been to like, I mean, in the United States, you're not gonna see a camera in a room.
And the severity of
unless you're in some sketchy ass Airbnb.
Lap dancing on my
That's a whole nother thing.
And I'm sorry for that.
I'm sorry.
I did not want to cause any negative actions towards anyone. I didn't want to make the hotel look bad or anything, so I apologize.
We are apologize.
What in the ad libs, Andy?
I hope for the speedy release of.
I know he just saying like one line.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sorry. We apologize.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Nah, dude, the ad libber is killing me though. He's killing me, man.
Yeah, I'd say he's the. Like when you do a class presentation, you're like, no, you talk.
Yeah. The ad lib guy is kind of killing me right now. Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's an interesting one for sure. I wish we had like a body analyst, right? Like, was that even a? I don't know. How do you feel about the apology? Do you feel it was sincere?
No,
I don't think. To be honest, I don't think the apology.
I don't think
matters.
it was sincere at all.
I don't think it matters.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. I mean, he doesn't. He's probably not even fucking sorry, to be honest. But
dude, if he scammed people if he scammed his community out of cryptocurrency, I don't think he gives a fuck about what he just did.
Saving his own ass,
well, think about it from an American perspective. Lap dancing on your girlfriend is. We have male strippers that do the same fucking thing. That's
pretty tame.
It's pretty fucking tame. No one really gives a shit. So no, why would you be sorry about that? The only reason he's doing it, it's definitely a PR post. I can tell you right now, the only thing that post did was like make me as an outsider go, well, don't ever really want to go to Thailand. That's really all it like not that they give a fuck, right? But like that's really all it did for me was go, well, Thailand's not on my list. Why the fuck would I want to go there? Like you see something the same as that, like yeah,
he's not going no more.
Yeah, I don't know. That's an interesting one. Definitely not a real apology. I don't think he gives a shit. Yeah. I don't see why he would give a shit. I don't think he should give a shit, other than for the fact of getting the fuck out of jail. I think that's the only reason he would give a shit.
He was streaming like the next day or a couple of days after. I saw, because I was browsing Kick and I was like, oh, what the hell? He's online.
That's
just like, oh, okay, he's out. Maybe there's like some kind of bail thingy. And then there was an update that he gave in his Discord. There was a screenshot about it saying that like he can still get in trouble, but he's in touch with his lawyers. But it's not like serious, so he won't see any jail time. But he's probably gonna have to pay a fine or some.
I imagine if the charges were dropped, he's probably good, right? Like because from what I saw in the tweet, it said that the charges were dropped.
Yeah, so I think he was being like charged by like two different. I think it's by like the hotel staff or the government or something like that. Like charged by different entities. One was dropped, but he still have to go to court. That makes sense. It makes more sense in the screenshot that I sent because he's talking about it.
No, yeah, I understand that entirely. Yeah, I mean it's the same way, right? Like. It's like you could go to trial in the States for something, and then and like the charges can be dropped, but you can still be held liable through like civil lawsuits.
Yeah, exactly. I just couldn't.
So it's probably something around that. Yeah, that's yeah, I don't know. I don't really. I mean, I get it, right? Like it's different culture, and so to them, it's probably disrespecting to their culture, and I think that's, you know, I think that's the language barrier and understanding a culture is kind of tough, and I think that's just why in general you just got to be careful as a content creator. I feel like he's a experienced content creator. He's an established content creator. He's done content in other countries before. I mean, aren't they on like a world fucking tour right now? Basically, I've been seeing them all over in different countries. I feel like you I feel like you kind of go through the effort to know better and protect. Like, why wouldn't you protect yourself, protect your crew?
Yeah, you would want to do your due diligence, but I mean, is this the type of person that does due diligence?
Oh no, of course not. Of course not. Right. And I think that's why you know, when you don't do due diligence, that's kind of how you end up in the situation he ended up in, right?
Yeah.
So,
or he fabricated the whole thing. You never know.
I mean, nah, I don't think it's fabricated. How would the whole thing? Well,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just waffling.
I mean, no, I get what you're saying. I mean, 100%, right? Like, I mean, I feel like that would be kind of elaborate to fabricate, though.
Yeah.
But that's why I was saying, like, the severity of it, right? Like, that's why I was like, maybe the severity wasn't really that severe.
Yeah, it was just blown out of proportion.
Maybe it was blown out of proportion intentionally because clicks and views and farm, right? Like easy farm.
Easy impressions.
Easy farm.
Easy.
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking about it.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, everybody's talking about it, right? Like that's how it works.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously it always works. That's why the saying like there's no such thing as bad publicity, because in reality there isn't. I mean, we could relate this back to the RuneScape community. I don't need to name names, but
I was thinking the exact same thing, bro.
Did it do anything?
Nope.
Absolutely fucking nothing, right?
Fuck all.
Absolutely fucking nothing. And so I think a lot of people have gotten into the idea of I think a lot of people who seek a career in content creation have kind of gotten to a point where like they kind of just brush their morals off, because they know if they do some scummy, shitty, crazy, say some wild shit, it's easy fame, easy access, and then in that sense it justifies them. I like, and people use it kind of as like, because think about it, like in the world, everybody's constantly looking for the shortcut, right? Like no one wants to put the work in. Everybody wants the shortcut. They want to get there. They want to see the end result. This goes back to social media. Social media kind of makes people believe that they're not living the life they're supposed to live. So like you might see a 23-year-old posts a really nice car on social media and their really nice watch. And then you being a 23-year-old, I'm not saying you are 23 because I know you're not, but I'm saying like you being a 23-year-old might see that and go, man, I'm failing at life. And so your perspective immediately changes, and I think that's a false reality. But because of how much people consume social media, they look at that and they're like, well, man, I'm really fucking failing because I'm not doing the things they're doing at 23.
Yeah,
but it's like
the constant comparison.
It's like you haven't even started your life
feels
yet.
Like and it's like the thing is like everyone has their own path, you know. It's really bad to like compare yourself. I mean, to be resentful, I think is bad, but like to take inspiration, I think is a lot healthier. Yeah, because you know, you're like, why does he have this? And you just become fucking a negative ass person, to be honest.
Yeah, it compares. I mean, it just in general, right? Like, I mean, it's easy, right? Like, I mean, yeah, it's just really easy to like look at something and then equate it to yourself and think that's supposed to be your reality, but that's not the case at all. But I think it's worse in the younger ages because they don't actually realize that. They're not like wise enough. They're not old enough to realize like dude, you're 23. Like you barely even started your life, motherfucker. You've been an adult for like fucking what, 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Like you just now are able to start drinking, and in some states you're just now able to start smoking cigarettes. Like you literally haven't done anything yet, and you're over here panicking because you ain't got your whole life laid out in front of you and figured out, and you ain't got $1 million in your bank account. It's like, what? Like another really great way of looking at this, and I don't want to live this life, but why do you think all the people you see driving really, really, like the majority of people you see driving really, really nice cars living in really, really nice houses, they're fucking gray. They're graying in their hair. They're like 55, 65, retired, and they just worked their entire life to get there. And now they're starting to live their life. You know what I mean? Like a lot of old people are the people that you see driving around in the luxury cars and driving around, like, you know, living in the luxury houses. And it's like, you see that and you're like, I want that. And like, everybody wants that, I think, to an extent.
Yeah.
I want that, but I don't want that at 65. I want that at like 40, bro. Like, let me get that at like 35, 40. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that at 65 because I feel like at 65, like, you can't even have fun. You're fucking old, decrepit, can't really move anymore. Like, how do you even have fun with it? Then you just worked your life for all that money, and then for what? And so, like, I very much am like trying to live life like in the now, and like just doing within my means now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Social media, man. I fucking hate social media. If you guys were here a couple episodes ago, you know I hate social media. We talk about it a lot. I hate it, dude. I do. I mean, because it's like so much.
I think there's a positive. I think there's a positive too. I mean, because like as we grow older, we don't spend a lot of time with like friends and family and stuff. So it's a way to like keep in touch in that sense. But then, why are you nodding your head?
Because like, who's really keeping in touch with friends and family on social media? Like, be honest.
I mean, you can kind of see with like, well, I see a lot of my friends and family on the stories, and it's like, that's
like Facebook,
doing, you know? No, on Instagram.
I don't, dude. I don't get Instagram. I don't get Instagram at all.
What do you mean?
I don't understand it. I don't get it.
It's just pictures.
Why? That's why I don't get it. Why do people like it?
I mean,
I don't get it.
I mean, you can see like usually a big thing is like holiday pictures or just seeing what's going on in their lives. Kind of like Facebook, but just pictures. There's obviously the negative side where people people are envious or people gloat and show off and but like Instagram, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the person that makes it bad.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't understand Instagram in general. Like to me, Instagram is like I don't touch it. I don't use it because I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. Like, what is the entertainment value out of it? Like, why would I go to Instagram versus like TikTok? I don't see the entertainment value in.
Well, you don't like pictures? Well, they have a lot of videos too. They have a lot of short form content.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of the TikToks.
I guess that's fair. It's kind of like Tumblr.
I've never been on Tumblr.
Like, I don't really get Tumblr either.
Tumblr, I don't think Tumblr is what it was back then.
I think Tumblr is
I don't understand. I think Tumblr now is like a worse version than Instagram. Again, it's just like pictures,
I got another one.
Videos.
How about Pinterest?
Pinterest?
Yeah.
Okay, you gotta be. What's the stereotype? A stay-at-home mom.
Because I don't get Pinterest either. There's a lot of social media I don't understand.
A lot of moms get their like cook recipes on Pinterest and stuff.
I get it for like recipes and like ideas, but I feel like people pin shit and then never actually do what they pin, or like I think the whole idea of like Pinterest, like people look at shit and they're like, oh, this looks really nice, let me pin that, maybe we'll do that later. Oh, this looks really nice, let me pin that, and then it just ends up being an entire account of pins, but you've never once done anything on the pins. Maybe a recipe, right? Like you're like, oh,
maybe
recipe.
That's you.
No, I don't even use. I don't even have an account.
Well, everyone likes their.
Yeah, I guess there's social media for everybody, right? Yeah, the social media for everybody. Yeah. I'm just saying, me personally, I don't get it. Like, there's a bunch of it that I don't get. Yeah, no, I get it 100%. Like, everybody's got what they like, right? I mean, that's billions of people, a lot of different likes, a lot of different points of view. Yeah, 100%. We're coming up on another ad break in 2.5 minutes. I feel like once we get this thing rolling, it's always like time just flies. And we just ad break after ad break. And it's like, dude, how are we here already?
Ad break.
It's like, how are we here already? We do have sneezes available.
By the way, I'm still bald.
I didn't notice. Forgot. Otis, stop it. My cat is tapping on me right now. Chat, we are coming up to an ad break. We're going to take a quick moment and we'll put a pin in it. We'll get back to the podcast after the ad break. The ad break is coming in 2 minutes. Before we get back into the podcast real quick, for those of you that are coming back from the ad break, welcome back to What in the Podcast with your boys Jimmy and myself, CrossFireX, where we are waffling about all things to waffle about. We've had a lot of good conversation today, a lot of waffle conversation today. Real quick, I do want to address that though. Game Median, I had saw their intro video, their promo video, and where they claimed that they were going to be leveling people up and leveling up their content, but the CEO himself is standing in a garage with dog shit lighting. Sorry, not a nice way to say it, but it was really bad lighting, and it was standing in a shadow, and I was like, well, how are you going to level up other people's content if you rather spend your money on the fucking Twitter verification instead of spending money on like a professional shoot? Like literally, if you're gonna spend thousands of dollars for like 6 different Twitter accounts to have verification through your organization, and then you also paid for the organization's verification, like spend some fucking money on an actual video shoot, hire an actual editor, and like actually get something of quality, something that is professional, come off professional. And so that was my first red flag, was you're standing in a shadow. That doesn't look good at all. Like nothing about that looked good. But hopefully in a couple of weeks, chat, we'll go more into detail about all that. We can't get lost on a sidetrack or a tangent, because I will tangent on about that. We are back on the podcast. Jimmy, where were we at before we took our break?
We were talking about Ice Poseidon. And then we went off into a tangent about social media.
Yeah, I don't really think there's really anything else to say about the whole Ice Poseidon thing. Yeah, social media, man. No. I fucking hate. I hate social media.
I think it's
passion. Good. I think it can be good. I think it is largely used negatively.
Yeah. But I mean,
it's just like the internet.
Pretty much talked about. Yeah,
it's just like the internet, right? Like for instance, I'm a big proponent of the internet. Everybody really is. Everybody loves the internet, but like when you really sit down and look at like what the internet did, I don't think the world was really ready for the internet, if that makes sense. Like,
what do you mean?
Because look at how devolved society has become. Dude, this is the norm.
What is the norm? I feel like it depends on the person and their personality.
Nah, bro, this is literally the norm. Like bent neck, staring down at your phone, consuming things on the internet. Like there's like the internet was great. Technological advancement of the internet, awesome, amazing. What it allowed people to do, how it allowed people to connect in ways they'd never been able to connect before. But there was a lot of negatives that came with it. A lot of negatives. There's a reason why you see people do complete disconnections from the internet. Even I, as somebody who, I've been a full-time streamer for 10 years, 9 years, really. I very often will just step away from the internet because I need to just fucking get the fuck away from all of it, because it is so negative. It is such a negative space. And so there's a lot of the times where like I consume it so much, I consume it more than the average person, that I'm like, dude, I gotta step away. So there's a lot of negative with it too. I do think it's a great thing, but just a lot of negative around it. And so just in general, like I hate social media.
You see people like this.
Yeah, I mean, people are zombies, bro. People can't even drive their cars without like looking at their phone for half a second.
Yeah, that's the thing. People are really tethered to the phones. I can leave my phone down.
Yeah, I rarely ever
worry
use my
about
phone.
it for a while.
I don't. So I'll ask this question: Do you plug your phone into a charger every night?
No.
Yeah, my phone is so back burner that my phone would get like, I could go like 3 days and my phone will go down to like 10%, and then I'm like, oh, I should probably charge that. And I'll fucking leave it. I'll leave it until it's like, oh, it's 1% now? Fuck, yeah, maybe I should plug it in. All right, fine. And then it charges in an hour, and then I'm about the rest of my day. And I don't really use it that much,
Well, like when I lay down, I look at my phone, but I don't like charge it because my charger is next to my desk. I just kind of like just leave my phone on my bed. But like, I'll just leave it on the charger, and I don't have to look at it until like I need it. Mainly, I need it for like music. That's pretty much what I use it for. Yeah, I text here and there, but it's not like I'm constantly on the phone.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I actually don't text.
You don't text at all?
Who the fuck am I gonna talk to? Who the fuck am I texting?
No. Okay. Like, would you rather call or text?
No. I'm definitely a text preference guy. Like, fuck, like, don't fucking call me. Don't call. One, don't call me because I'm not gonna answer the phone. Two, if you call me the second time, I'm definitely not answering the phone. Like, if you're one of those people and someone doesn't pick up your phone, your call, and so you call again. I didn't pick up the first time, bitch. What makes you think I'm picking up the second time? And if you call a third time, I want to block your shit. I want to block your shit so fast.
Well, here's the opposite to that. Like when someone calls me, yeah, I'd rather prefer a text, to be honest, because most things can be in a text, right?
Yeah.
But if they call me the second time, I was like, okay, this person really wants to get a hold of me. Let me answer the phone, and it's usually like something kind of like somewhat important. But it's not like, unless they're like an annoying person, which I don't gotten a phone call like that.
No, I'm very much a text person though. I'm very much a text person. Like if I have a homie, I'll be like, hey bro, we're doing a bonfire tonight, or hey, we're doing a cookout tonight. Come on over if you want to. Come get some grub. But that's it. That's the end of the text. I'm not gonna like hold a conversation with you. Like me and my fiance, we used to text all the time. But once we moved in together, it was like, nah, why the fuck are we gonna text?
Yeah, I mean, because you already you see each other.
Every day, yeah. I mean, I might send her, like, if there's something, like, if she's at work and there's something that she needs to know, or like, hey, go to the grocery store, pick up buns so we can have dinner later. You know what I mean? Like, sure.
Yeah.
You know, but.
Do you have an iPhone?
No, hell no. What the fuck? We can have a whole, dude. Boy, we about to go on another tangent. Oh,
you want to go
man.
on another tangent? The reason I bring that up is because I was like, maybe you want to FaceTime somebody. Because sometimes I FaceTime my family.
I got a Samsung. I don't need FaceTime. My Samsung.
Sometimes I FaceTime my friends, but I rarely don't use FaceTime. But I'd rather use FaceTime than calling sometimes.
Okay, I get that. Like, there's a lot of people that do the whole FaceTime thing, and I do understand that. I am not. Yeah. We like with Samsung. So I have a Note 20, and so with Samsung they have like other like Samsung users. You can actually like there's an equivalent of FaceTime. It's not like widely used, but no, I don't like Apple. I think Apple is overpriced. I think it's. I mean, bro, let's be honest.
You think it's bougie?
Apple, like, no, it's not even bougie. It's no, it's not even bougie, dude. You pay for the brand. It's like buying a fucking Alienware.
Well, the thing is, like, I got a fucking Apple Watch and I got an Apple phone, right?
They got Samsung watches. They got Samsung phones.
AirPods. I don't know where they are.
They got Samsung fucking earbuds.
I like the accessibility between all of these. This is why I have iPhone. But this is I don't have an iMac. The only thing I have is the like accessories. Really, I don't like Apple. I think it's fucking way overpriced.
Yeah, but how much were those earpods? Or AirPods? AirPods? Man, AirPods. Fuck Apple. All right, go ahead.
These I think were like 120-ish, 140-ish. I'm not sure. I bought them a long ass time ago. Yeah, and then the watch was like 300. And then my phone was like,
boy, you paid how much?
900. Like 300 for this Apple Watch.
No, not the watch. The earbuds.
Oh, like 140.
Why?
Because the accessibility of them.
But I guarantee you could get a pair of Skull Candies for $15.99 at the closest Marshalls, and it sounds the same. Man, the Skull Candies look cooler than those stupid ass white earbuds. Airbud, man, dude. Man, I don't even know the fucking name of them. That's how dumb they are. I actually hate Apple, dude.
Let me find out you got Beats by Dre, bro.
Hell no, I never buy Beats by Dre. Bro, dude, I fucking guarantee you the quality in Skull Candies are like equivalent to the $140 pair of fucking AirPods.
Yeah, but I like I just like the accessibility of everything. Like I have an app that tells me the battery. I can wireless charge this bitch. I have this small case with it. I mean, you can argue you have all that on the Skull Candy, but I mean, people like the brands that they buy, right? Like for this type of stuff, I like Apple.
I'm sorry, I pulled this up. I pulled this up because I needed to see this. I needed, jeez, bro. They even market them like fucking AirPods, man. They even market them nowadays like AirPods, and they're in Bluetooth.
Look at that shit. I don't like that bubble crap. You know how many times, like back in the day,
do AirPods not have that?
No, they don't.
They're just all hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are incredibly uncomfortable.
Not for me. I can wear these. I wear these in my fucking run all the time. But these are the older models, so the newer ones are like smaller. And I think they're more comfortable.
I just think it's overpriced. I think it's overpriced as fuck.
Oh, I'm not denying that.
Also because homie here is trying to fucking roast me in the comments. First of all, I don't use skull candies. A couple years ago at TwitchCon, I did a promotion for Razer at the TwitchCon Partner Lounge where I got 2 backpacks full of Razer products. I have Razer Hammerhead Bluetooth earbuds. I got 2 sets of them. I also have 12,800 milliamp Razer power bricks, massive ones. I got them all for free. All right. Second of all, no, I don't actually use skull candies, but I tell you what. I will buy a pair of skull candies before I buy a pair of fucking AirPods, and I bet you it'll be more worth it. I bet you it'll be more worth it in the long term. That's all I'm saying. I usually don't respond to chat, but I ain't gonna let 4'11". I ain't gonna let 4'11" sit there and try to roast me. That man got fried by cookies twice yesterday. Ain't no way this dude can't even ride roller coasters. They're just gonna try to come roast me about skull candies. All right, he's just mad he paid for an overpriced fucking AirPod. That's all it is. That's all it fucking is. All right, and that's just the facts of what it is. Anyways, back onto the tangent about I don't even know what we were talking about originally, but this is a new motherfucking topic. It's called Android versus Apple, and I'm gonna tell you why Apple is ass. You pay $1,000 extra for bullshit. You want to know what they? You know the Apple selling point on like an Apple laptop is the ease of use. It's for boomers. It's for people who can't figure out technology.
No, it's really good. They're actually really good for video editing.
I will agree. I will agree they're good for video editing, but I don't think that there's anything you can do on a Mac that you can't do on a PC.
Yeah, oh no, definitely. I mean, you can.
So why would you pay the extra $1,000 for the name?
Again, people like the brands they pay. I mean, you got people
buying.
Yeah,
you're paying for the brand. That's what I said. It's like don't even get me started on designer clothes. Those guys are dumb too. You're just paying for a brand. It's wasting money. It's dude. If I wanted to throw money in the garbage, I'd go in my wallet, I'd grab the Benjamins, and I just throw it in the garbage.
To some people, that's not wasting money. But I mean, like, I would argue that this has more like use out of it. Overpriced, yes, but the ease of accessibility through everything is a huge plus.
Where's the accessibility? Where's the lack of accessibility on Android?
I don't think there is. But like it feels like clunky in a way. Everything in Apple's like streamlined. I don't know. I haven't had Android, so I can't really say. I'm just
I was gonna say because Android's extremely streamlined. It's not what people think it is. That's why I say people are still paying. That's why I think people are still paying for overpriced shit.
I mean, I like Apple.
Like I have a Samsung Note 20. Like my phone can shoot in fucking 4K. Like
I will say
my
the
phone
cameras,
can shoot better quality than my actual webcam can.
Yeah, except like on Snapchat, like everybody memes Androids that it's like fucking 480p. But like they really do have good cameras. They take really good photos.
Hate Apple too, but you're being a bit disingenuous with the quality of the product. I don't think I'm being disingenuous at all. How many times do you know how many people have broken their Android fucking actually this is actually a really good point. There are a lot of phone companies that when you get an Apple product, Apple forces you to get the warranty on the product.
I don't have warranty on the product.
I know a lot of phone companies that if you get an Apple product, they force you buy. Like that was actually when I went through T-Mobile. I don't have an Apple product, but we pay for my fiance's sister, her little sister's phone. We pay for it, and so it's an old model, by the way. It's an old ass fucking iPhone, but she was required to have the warranty on it, required by Apple, and that's what they had told us. They told us that they were required to have it. Drop your Android and you got to pick up 5 pieces to put it back together. I've never had that
Not
issue.
the Lego meme.
I've thrown Androids at brick walls before, and this is like I used to live in an apartment that had a brick accent wall, and I've legitimately thrown my phone at it. I've never had any issues, ever. I don't even have. I'll put it this way: I don't even have a warranty on this $1,000 phone, and I've dropped it plenty of times. I've had no issues, no screen cracks. I don't have a OtterBox. I don't have a crazy phone case.
You're no case gang.
No, this is a phone case. It's just not a crazy phone case.
Yeah, the back of my phone is pretty fucked.
This is what my phone actually looks like. And so this is my phone case. It's nothing crazy.
I like that. I like slim phone cases like that. I hate the fucking bulky ass OtterBox.
Yeah, I don't like them either.
Big ass. I don't want a fucking big ass thing in my fucking pocket, bro. That's why I'm like, I'm no case gang, but my shit's kind of fucking cracked.
Yeah, and so it just I've never liked Apple. I've always thought Apple was overpriced. I mean, you pay thousands. I mean, dude, look at the fucking what is that VR headset they just announced? Like, I don't think anybody can disagree. It's overpriced.
That's a novelty. Yeah, that's a novelty. Did you see the video where they named the price and everyone was like, "Oh," like there was a collective
It's
sigh,
so
bro.
overpriced. It's literally so overpriced.
It's overpriced. Yeah.
Like you can get the same quality in Android and with Microsoft that you with anything else. It's like literally the same quality.
Yeah. I mean, it's their own version of it. I will say that that's kind of overpriced.
I would argue it mattered more back in the day.
Unless if it's like.
But that gap has been closed. That gap has literally been closed. All the latest tech, like that gap literally, like that gap doesn't exist anymore. It's literally. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. But people,
like before,
people are stuck in the iPhone, I would argue like that maybe iPhone was miles ahead, and now it's pretty. It's the gap has been closed, and now people are just there's so people that are diehard Apple, right? It's like PS5 versus Xbox.
Xbox gang,
and I'm Xbox gang too.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm Xbox gang too.
Xbox gang.
Yeah, and so it's like I just think that the products are overpriced. I think that you can get a cheaper and same quality Android. So
just let me waste money in peace, bro. Come on.
Well, yeah, but the same people that are wasting their money on their fucking iPhones are the same people that are bitching about they can't afford their rent. But they're wasting all these like
that's just the irresponsibility on their part.
It's ignorance. Yeah,
I mean that's a person problem. Like,
well,
I don't feel like I waste some money.
And I'm not saying everybody that buys Apple is doing that, but I'm saying like there's a large portion of people, and this is on both sides. This is on Android. This is on fucking like anybody like people who have Androids, people who have fucking Apple. Like it's the same thing. Like there are people who will literally waste their money without realizing they're wasting extra money that they could have like elsewhere if they just actually paid attention to their finances a little bit more. And this is why I think finances should be like a required class in schooling, and it's not.
Yeah, I kind of do that with food. I order food a lot. I could be saving a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, literally, we're talking like that's 100%. Like people who order food every single day they order food. And I'm not, and if the shoe fits, the shoe fits. I'm not trying to call you out here, but
no, it's okay. I don't.
There are people who order food every day, and you rack up like even if you just look at delivery fees. Get rid of the cost of the food, right? You take the subtotal of whatever your DoorDash subtotal is, and subtract that from the rest of the total. And if you look at that amount and you order food every single day, and then you multiply that by 365, you're like, oh, there's where thousands of my dollars went.
Mm-hmm. It's
like, oh, that's
like, oh,
like
shit.
If I didn't order food every day, that's the difference between. I could have had money for a better car, but instead I ordered food every day. My car's a piece of shit. My car broke down. Now I can't go to work. And now because I can't go to work, I've lost my job. Oh, and now I'm fucked because I lost my job and I can't afford my rent. It's literally a fucking domino effect. But people
I could have had a better chair, bro.
You could have had a better months ago. You could have had you're sitting in a wooden chair. But if you just go into your bank statements and you go look at all of your orders from ordering food, you could have had 3 better chairs, I guarantee. You could have went on vacation that year. You could have there's so many things. No, 100, bro, add it up. Think about people who smoke cigarettes. You smoke a pack a week. But now a pack a week is actually very light. That's like 52 times what, like $8. That's pretty light. Well, that's light, but not light.
For a pack of smokes?
Cigarettes are like $9. They're like $8.75 for a pack of Newports.
What the fuck? I thought they were like $6.
Nah, fuck no. And this is in Wisconsin where it's expensive.
Well, I mean,
let's say you smoke a pack a week. All right, let's say you're not let's say you're a pretty conservative smoker. You smoke a pack a week, $8.75 a pack, and you go 52 weeks. That's still $500 extra in your pocket. That's the cost of a flight. And that's a pack a week. The average smoker is probably smoking a pack a day. So if you take a pack a day, okay, if you take a pack a day and you take 365 days, that's $3,000 extra. That's a whole ass vacation to another country. Not even just in the States. That's an international flight, and then rooming in an internet there's a lot of people that's a car for some people. There's a lot of expenses like that people aren't realizing where their extra money's going. They're not realizing just small differences that could be made.
Yeah, basic economics wasn't. I mean, there is a class. I mean, it
Bro, I didn't even have. Look, I'm gonna just put it out there. I didn't even have a finance class. I didn't have economics in school. I did. I did.
I just didn't give a shit back then.
I did. Also didn't. I also didn't give a shit.
I'm gonna keep it 55th Street. I'm gonna say I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that one on 55th Street, bro. I also went to economics class. Didn't pay any attention to it, but I have the common sense to realize, like, I know where my money's being spent. Maybe that comes from being a Twitch streamer during the Net 45 days. And so I had to know a little bit better. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's always a value to everything, right? Like, people are going to place different values on different things. You know, like, for instance, we smoke weed over here. And so...
Who's we?
We as in me, mother. No, but that's what I'm saying. And so, like, I spend my money on that, whereas people could look at that and go, well, hey, if you didn't spend your money on that, you'd have money to do this. But it's like, I'm not sitting... But at the same time, I'm not sitting here going, oh, I can't afford my rent. I'm not. You know, fortunately, I'm blessed enough to, you know, be able to live comfortably. You know, and so that's I guess I kind of really direct the conversation, and I'm not like targeting people, but I'm saying, like, there are some things that people who are struggling could make some adjustments, and it would make a massive difference in their lifestyle.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, just
more management.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's good for a lot of people, and you know, like, I think the good of this conversation is, like, maybe there's some people here that might realize, like, oh, hey, maybe if I just cut back this much, or, you know, maybe if I cut back here, or maybe if I, you know, like, think about it. Like, if you order, like, let's say you order food 6 days a week, if you even cut that back to 4 days a week,
you're already saving
you're saving a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I know there are people who can't cook, but it's like, dude, you might not be able to cook, but, like, I bet you can cook a grilled cheese if you fucking tried.
Also, rice is huge.
I bet.
Pop that bitch in a rice cooker.
I bet you can make eggs if you just tried. Like, yo, eggs, sausage, and fucking toast. That's a whole meal right there.
That's a whole breakfast.
All you gotta do is cook the eggs. You could literally pop the sausage in the fucking microwave.
Is, like, cooking. Some people can't be ass cooking, you know, and some people shouldn't be cooking because they can't. They just burnt their shit, you know.
Well, no, but like, the people who are burning their shit cooking are not paying enough attention to the cooking process.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, my problem when I started cooking, my mom would always tell me that I run my pan too hot, so I burn all my shit. So that is, but, like, through the process of doing, you learn, oh, I run my pan too hot. Let me turn the pan down next time. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I don't know. I just, like, cooking, I get it, right? Like, cooking can be really hard for some people, but there are stages to this shit. There's levels to this shit. Like, if you don't know how to cook, you shouldn't be trying to make a motherfucking meatloaf, bruh. Like, you need to make grilled cheese. Like, you butter the bread, slap that bitch down,
cheese,
and, like, really exactly. Like, there's levels to this shit, man. Like,
cheese burrito.
Like, when you start playing RuneScape,
spaghetti's actually really easy.
You ain't killing Elverg on day one, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's levels to this shit. And so I think the people that can't cook don't try to cook. Like, I mean, you could self-teach anything with YouTube, like, anything.
I personally like cooking. I just don't do it enough. I like the art of it.
You know what was really nice? Like, okay, you want to eat out. The reason why you want to eat out is probably because, one, it's the convenience, and two, good food, right? Try HelloFresh. Like, if you're going to eat out, if you're going to spend money anyways, there are services that kind of teach you how to cook. Like HelloFresh.
Yeah, it comes with the actual, it comes with an actual guide, pamphlet, if you will, to actually cook the food.
They're cards.
Yeah. I've seen them.
They're one sheet, front and back.
Okay, all the ingredients come in a bag, okay? And you get this pamphlet, front and back, has the instructions to make every single thing, each step, right? Okay, so it's very easy to follow. It's like you know.
How much of it is laziness?
What do you mean?
Like, for people who don't want to cook?
Not wanting to cook?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's 100% laziness. Or sometimes people just don't have time to cook. That's another thing.
Well,
think about it. You work long.
Not having time.
So let's say let's say you wake up really early in the morning, you can't really cook some. I mean, breakfast is really easy to make in the morning, to be honest. It's a really valid argument. But coming home from work, right? You come home, you worked a really long day, right? You're tired as fuck. You just want to go to sleep, right? You don't want to fucking cook. Cooking is probably going to take you like 15, maybe even 30
Okay,
minutes.
so
to
you
make,
order
like, a
food.
good meal. Yeah, so you order food, right?
Right.
But then you keep doing that.
But then
and
what's the
you
excuse
just
to
keep
ordering food on the
food.
day off?
It's easy. It just comes down to the person. It
Yeah.
does come down to laziness. But like, so it's both laziness and a convenience factor. You know, see what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and I guess that's like that's always gonna determine like the type of person, right? Like the people who are eating out often, they're probably lazy in the sense of cooking. I'm not saying lazy overall, but they're lazy in the sense of cooking, and so they choose to eat out all the time, and then so maybe that laziness kind of spills over into other aspects of life. I don't know. Like all walks of life are so crazy, right? I can only speak from my perspective and like my experience, my reality, but yeah, it's just for me, I grew up in a household where my mom always cooked. I never cooked, but I always watched her cook, and so it was normal for me living in a household where someone always cooked, that obviously it makes sense that in my household we cook. We don't eat out as much, we cook. And so maybe part of that is that, like maybe people grew up where they just eat out all the time.
I did grow up where everyone cooked. My grandma, my aunt, my mom, they all cooked every single day. So I was always expecting a cooked meal every time I come home, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I think like maybe that's the case, right? Like maybe for some people, but like it's just like I feel like a lot of people could learn small amounts of cooking. Even like I said, if you cook twice a week and then order out the rest, you save so much money that way. That money could be used elsewhere, right? Like, so it's like there's so many different things that people could do, right? I guess it just really depends on the interest of people.
Yeah. I'm so, and there's also a benefit of like cooking your own food. I don't know, for some reason
It tastes better.
Feeling. Does it taste better?
Tastes better when you cook it yourself, because there's achievement associated with it. You're like, oh damn, I cooked that.
The achievement aspect is, you know, I cook it, I eat it. I'm the reason I'm like living, because you know you gotta eat to live.
Well, yeah, like eating is a basic.
I just took care of myself. I made this whole meal for myself. Now I'm eating it. So you're more connected to your food, whereas you're just ordering it from the drive-through window. He says, "Here you go."
Yeah, there's a greater appreciation for it.
And they just leave it at your door. Oh no, it just magically appears at your front door. Shout out Iro. And
I already
it's just the it's just the disconnect there. You know?
I don't even want them to send me pictures when I get delivery. Like, just fucking set it down and walk back to your car and drive the fuck off. Because now I gotta watch you on my Ring camera while you fucking sit there like this.
Your food's here. Don't worry, I'll be there in 2 minutes. Would you like utensils? Let me know if there's any hot sauce.
And then they fucking sit there.
I'm leaving the store now.
Their phone has shit fucking service, so they sit there for 5 minutes while it sends the fucking photo.
Well, they have to. Some of them have to show proof that they delivered the food. You know?
Man, that's ass.
If they have bad service,
that's ass. I'll tell you what. Like, okay, so I guess if they had bad service, so then they get forced to show proof.
Well, because I already know. I know that because I did the Amazon Flex thing where
Amazon Flex is different.
Yeah, but I mean it's the same thing. It's like a package. It's a
well,
parcel,
no, but like the reason why I think it's different is because like okay, with DoorDash, I've had drivers that send a picture, and I've had plenty of drivers that don't send a picture.
Yeah.
So the ones that do send the picture, I'm like, hey, just fucking come on, let's go, let's get the show on the road.
They probably fucked up because sometimes it forces you to take the picture.
That's what I was wondering. So it's like, okay, but just don't fuck up. I
don't know, but
that's
like,
a toxic way of that, but yeah.
So it might be like the amount of the order too. Like let's say it's above a certain threshold of the cost that they have to take a picture that it was delivered. Because on the Amazon Flex thing, I noticed that the increase of price demanded a picture saying that the package was delivered. Not saying that I knew what was in the package. I'm just, you know, you feel it.
No, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. You know what I like doing with Amazon? I like doing those overnight deliveries, and I always select the. Dude, those overnight deliveries are weird, man. You ever done one?
No.
So they got two options. It'd be like 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. and then it'll be like 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Always like to select the 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. I'm like, who the fuck, like, and they drive in their normal cars. They don't drive in an Amazon vehicle. They drive in their normal cars. And so I'm like, who the fuck just pulled into my driveway, bro? They set the package down, they take a picture, snap it, and they go on about their day. No, yeah, those overnight deliveries are weird, man. Yeah. How long have we been? What has it been? 2 hours?
It's probably been about that. Yeah. We're just talking. Time has flew by. Like you said, every time he's like, "Oh, we got an ad coming up." Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it happened so quick. It literally happened so fucking quick. It's wild. We did. This is exactly what I wanted to do today, by the way, with the.
Just kind of just go with the flow.
Yeah, just to see, because like we got a lot of like quality conversation that wasn't in the plan. And so I kind of like that. I kind of like that a lot. I'm wondering if we even bother with not like future flow maps, but like the rest of the map. Like I kind of think, I would say it was a pretty solid 2 hours. Like, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. We definitely ignored a bunch of it, but it's pretty good. Like,
but that was the plan moving forward.
It's pretty easy for us to get into a conversation and steer it the way we want to.
And that was also the plan.
And it was
with
deep,
this week
meaningful.
too.
It wasn't like we just said something for like 2 minutes and then just ended it. I felt like we had a nice flow.
Yeah. And like Tyler said too, he said it's good to have a layout just in case, and I agree. I think that's always good. And like, plus a lot of the stuff that's on this that we didn't get to can always be brought up in the future.
True. Yeah. Save for the other podcast. We talk about that, and then we could do the same thing. Just waffle.
The other thing I was gonna say is I haven't quite figured out how to end these.
Kind of have to do like a Band-Aid.
Yeah, it's like, all right,
you just read the room. Like, obviously, right now we're in the come down, so obviously it's gonna end soon. But like, we just feel it. We look at the time. Generally, we like to be like 2 hours ish. Anything above that is a plus. But the 2 hours is a good, and then we just feel it. Like I said, right now it feels like they come down, so it's gonna end soon. But yeah, we kind of just like,
yeah. That's the thing. Like trying to figure out how to end it, how to flow it to an outro. Maybe I just need to watch more podcasts, get a little bit more research in, to figure out really like how do we end this thing? I think when we get, I think the best way to end it, not really the best way to end it, but I think we know we're coming up to an end when we start reading chat more.
Yeah.
Because like towards the end, we always just start to like read chat and like conversate, and I think that's kind of our way of flowing out. Yeah, 100%. I think we got a late start with the podcast today, viewership wise, but no, it always ends up peaking. It always ends up popping, which is always great because it brings people in and it's capturing people and people are enjoying the conversation. Need to both say one at the same time and end it.
What
hell nah.
What the?
That's something we didn't actually talk about in the intro about like how we kind of plan to do things moving forward, because we did have a little section that we were going to talk about like the YouTube side of things. If you guys didn't see, we did mention like we have really started to utilize the new YouTube channel for the podcast. We need all of your guys' help. If you guys can go to the YouTube channel and subscribe to it, we need likes, comments, watch time, and subscribers so that we can continue to grow that YouTube channel, so that we can actually start to garner an audience for the podcast itself, and so that we can get people who are always interested in the podcast. The YouTube has been great, and one of the biggest things that I don't want to say struggling with, because we're still so new. This is only episode 5. One of the things that we're trying to get used to or get situated is our own audience for that podcast. And so that's why we decided to move things to the official What in the Podcast YouTube channel. We'll get the links in the chat for those of you guys that don't have it. But the biggest thing is getting the views up on the YouTube channel to be able to hit the algorithm for a podcast, to be able to start to garner that audience. And so that is the official podcast YouTube right there. If you guys enjoyed today's podcast, please click the link, go and subscribe to our YouTube. Please interact with us on YouTube. We do read comments and stuff like that. And moving forward, we want to continue to do that. As we really flesh this thing out and really start to build it and get clips and stuff that we can really use to promote our podcast, no doubt. Garwin says, when is the podcast channel going live? And how are you and Jimmy going to handle the revenue stream, sync the cash into the podcast, or pocket it? I think that's something that we'll have a deeper conversation with moving forward. I think there's always, when it comes to revenue, there's always going to be a stream of it that goes back into the podcast. And then there will be a separate stream of it that will go out to me, Jimmy, and Toby. Because Toby puts a lot of work in behind the scenes with the podcast too, and so it's not just two of us, it's three of us. As far as when is the podcast channel going to go live on Twitch, that I don't know, because right now we're still very much in the infancy of the podcast, and I think we have a unique advantage of having established audiences on Twitch, that we're able to get an audience for the podcast. If we just swap over to our own Twitch channel, how many of you guys are going to see that? Because a lot of people see that we're live together and they come in and they conversate and they enjoy. Yeah. But if we're on a separate channel that's branded as What in the Podcast, how are people going to see that to know when we're doing the podcast, other than the diehards who know, hey, every Sunday this podcast goes live? And so I think that's something that's just going to take time, and we'll know more down the line when it'll be better to make that swap into its own Twitch channel. But yeah, for right now, that's really all we got with that. For those of you that don't know, we do strive to have the podcast uploaded by Friday at the latest every week on YouTube. So if you ever missed the podcast, or maybe you only caught part of it, you guys will be able to catch it on the YouTube channel every single Friday, Saturday at the absolute latest, but every Friday for sure. And so that'll be a great place. And like I said, we do need that interaction on YouTube. We need the interaction, the comments, the likes, and then watch time. Watch time is a really, really, really big factor. And so all that engagement matters big time. And that's what's going to help us really push this podcast into the mainstream. So what are your thoughts on more sponsors for the podcast? We're not really looking at sponsors right now. It doesn't make sense. We're still in the infancy of it.
We're still pretty new.
What up, Dylan? Good to see you, dude.
A sponsor would get like a great bang for their buck as of right now.
Yeah, I do think I have connections and easily could get sponsorships for the podcast, but it doesn't make sense right now.
Yeah.
And so we're not looking at that. We're really just looking at the quality of the product and how to keep that going
right now, and then we'll build upon that over time.
Yeah, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to like really build up a new channel. So